AITA for refusing to be everyone's driver, even though my friends were already counting on me to do it. Last Sunday, I had a day out with my old friends. We had a dinner, then went to bar to play board games, and those who wanted could have a drink. A day before our meeting, someone in group chat asked how everyone was getting to the spot. I wrote that I was driving myself BC. I live pretty far away and had an appointment early next morning. I didn't say I'd be driving anyone home. I just said I'd be driving there and mentioned my appointment. At bar, I only drank soda because I was driving. Around midnight, one friend said it's good that I'm driving everyone home tonight. Though he was joking, I said sorry, but I'm driving myself. It got awkward. It turned out that a friend had told a few people that I definitely wasn't drinking and could drive everyone home because it's on his way anyway. But that wasn't true. Two of them lived in a completely different direction, and if I were to drive everyone, it would take over an hour and a half for sure. I also had an early appointment in the morning. They started saying that ride shares are expensive right now. Their phones were almost dead, and I could at least help out. I said I could wait with them while they called for rides, take two people who really live near me, but I wouldn't be driving the whole group around town. I also politely explained the reasons why. The friend who told everyone this got angry and said I was making her look stupid now. I replied that you don't build a safety plan around someone who wasn't asked. In the end, I drove two friends home who, as I said, lived just 5 minutes away from me and helped the others order ride shares and waited until the cars arrived. Now that friend says I ruined the end of night and could have just helped out since I was sober anyway. TBH. I would like to help them, but I had an early work appointment next day and a bit upset that my decision not to drink was turned into a public service without my consent. AITA? My husband, M45, shared photos of house messes to everyone to build a case against me, F43. I am the primary parent to our 3 kids. How do I survive this? I am completely numb, exhausted, and humiliated right now. My husband, M45, and I, F43, are facing a potential separation divorce. We have 3 kids together. I am the primary parent, and, frankly, I handle almost everything. I'd say close to 95% plus on my own as a solo parent. While he does very little to help around the house BC, he works outside the home, in addition to overtime. Recently, I discovered that he has been secretly taking pictures of normal, everyday household clutter and messes around our home. Messes that naturally happen when you're solo parenting. 3 children when the spring semester was unbearably busy and too much for just me to handle. Now that the semester is over, the messes have already been cleaned in process of. The issue is, he didn't just keep them for his lawyer. He blasted these photos to almost everyone he knows, including his family, mutual friends, acquaintances, and everyone at his work. Along with the pictures, he explicitly told me what their responses were. I was so upset and nauseated that I had to go for a drive because I was feeling so much shamey trauma. I feel incredibly violated. Our home isn't a dangerous hoarding situation. It's just a house with 3 active kids where one person is doing all the work. He timed these photos perfectly to make me look as bad as possible. His family and friends are now actively judging me, and the reputational damage feels irreversible. The divorce had been paused for us. Attend a week-long intensive therapy session together to see if our marriage could be healed. After learning about the pictures, I am struggling to process the betrayal and desperately need some objective perspective, the legally custody side. How do family court judges actually view photos of everyday household messes when 3 kids are involved? Since I am already the primary caregiver, will a judge take this evidence seriously, or will his behavior backfire on him for being malicious? The social side. I feel sick to my stomach thinking about how his side of the family and friends who have previously respected see me now. For anyone who has survived this kind of public shaming and weaponized intimacy by a partner, how did you handle the social fallout? How do I recover my dignity? I found $5,000 in my grandpa's old dresser, and I am letting my family fight over his worthless plates. My grandfather passed away 3 months ago, and the aftermath has been a complete circus. He was not a rich man by any means. He lived in a cramped apartment filled with dusty books and cheap furniture from the 70s. You would think there was a gold mine hidden there based on how my aunts and uncles are acting. They have been screaming at each other for weeks over who gets the ceramic plates and some old wood carvings that are probably worth $10 at a garage sale. It is honestly exhausting to watch grown adults lose their minds over junk while I just wanted to get the cleaning over with so I could go back to my actual life. Last weekend, I was tasked with hauling away his old mahogany dresser. It was heavy as hell and smelled like mothballs. While I was trying to pull the drawers out to make it lighter, I noticed one of them didn't sit right. There was a false bottom made of thin plywood that looked slightly newer than the rest of the wood. I pried it open with the flathead screwdriver and found several thick envelopes stuffed with $20 and $50 bills. I counted it twice in the garage. It was exactly $5,400. Not life-changing money for some people, but for me it was a massive relief because my credit card debt has been suffocating me for a year. I did not say a word to anyone. I just shoved the envelopes into my laptop bag and finished loading the dresser into the truck. Later that night, my mom called me crying because her brother accused her of stealing a set of silver spoons that never even existed. I just sat there listening to her vent while I was ordering a decent dinner for the first time in months. I felt a tiny bit of guilt for about 5 seconds before I remembered how these people treated him when he was actually alive. None of them visited him for years, but now they are acting like grave robbers. Since then, I have been slowly paying off my car loan and buying actual groceries instead of eating ramen every night. My family is still in a group chat sending essays about who deserves the old TV and the dusty curtains. I just mute the notifications and go about my day. It is weird how much easier it is to deal with their drama when you have a secret stash of cash that they will never know about. I think my grandpa would have liked it this way. He hated the bickering more than anything else. I am currently sitting in a cafe drinking a $5 latte that I paid for with his furniture money while reading another frantic text from my aunt about a missing decorative rug. The rug is stained and smells like cat pee, but she is convinced it is an antique. People are weird.